Hi, my name is Noelle Bovon. I'm an entrepreneur and a business and a life coach, and I am here to help you create the life you want. Today I'm talking about acting small, and more what I want to say. I titled this video, Are You Acting Small? But really what I want to say is stop acting small. And I mean that forcefully. And I've learned that in my life with such potency and severity. I've spent most of my life believing I wasn't good enough. From my father, who articulated that in his own ways, bless his soul, and from the relationships that I've brought into my life as a young adult and, many years later, is I've learned that I had created relationships and allowed relationships to form around me that perpetuated this belief that I wasn't good enough. And what that meant was when I would express my dreams and somebody would, I would express them obviously to somebody that I cared about, that I respected, and they would tell me in the ways that I wasn't maybe good enough or couldn't achieve that. And what I've learned since then is that I've created a lot of unhealthy relationships, because forming relationships with people who want to keep you small is not a very good way to spend your life. And also, I recognize that I had to go deeper than just friendships. I created a marriage that allowed me to remain small, that I allowed myself to stay in that because I believe that to be true. And what happened was one day I realized that this wasn't true, that it wasn't my life, and that I needed to continue to move towards my light, because I felt like I wasn't being authentic, first to myself and then to others. So I made a choice to leave everything behind that I knew that supported me, that paid my bills, and to go towards what made my heart feel whole, which was to know that I'm enough. And so I've been distancing myself from relationships in order to embody that. And really what's happened is I've been able to realize that there's a lot of light within me. And the moment I started to step towards it, even though it was and it is still a very difficult time, is that I continue to receive feedback that that I seem to be glowing, that I seem to be radiant. And I receive that feedback even in times when I am not feeling radiant at all, when I feel like I have no glow. But what's occurring is deeper resonance within me. Something deeper is unraveling. So I'm here to say, if you are surrounded by people who keep supporting this idea of you that you are not enough, it's time to step away from them. And I know it can be a pretty scary and lonely place to step away from the people that you've surrounded yourself by. Because all of a sudden, if you've created a lot of relationships like that, when you step away, it seems a bit empty. But the more you step into your light, the more you'll create relationships that draw in that same direction, that will help support you in that way and allow you freedom. And so it can be scary to step away from these old patterns that we've created that say we're not good enough, that we aren't good enough to be successful in business, to take the risks we want to take, to have the relationships we want to have, whether they're friendships, work relationships, or intimate relationships. But I encourage you to move in that direction, because when you move in that direction, something brilliant happens. You start to feel like a deeper sense of radiance within you, because you're doing what you want to do. You're doing what you're here to do, and that is to follow your dreams and to work hard. Doesn't mean that when you step towards your light that you just give everything up. It means you continue to work hard, but that when you work hard, more brilliant things will come. And when more brilliant things come, you continue to step towards that light. So my encouragement for you today is set yourself up with people who will not belittle you, who will not turn your ideas upside down. And, even if you do have relationships with people who you want to continue with, just be mindful about what you share with them. And know that if you move towards the things that feel smoother, if you move towards the things that feel lighter, that is moving away from these self-defeating thoughts. You are finding yourself thinking yourself small. If you believe that you're incapable of doing, achieving, having the relationships you want to have, first and foremost, look at the people that you're surrounding yourself by and decide if they are helping to perpetuate those feelings of you being small. And then second is, who is it that you want to be? Find the people around you, whether they're like physically around you or people that you are mentors to you, whether you have relationships with them or not, or people that you admire, whether it's, writers, authors, speakers, other colleagues, and look towards them. Look towards the ways in which you see their light and that they're doing what they're meant to do. And find that within you. So have the courage to go towards being big, understanding that you can be as big as you want to be. And I don't mean that in an egoic way. I mean that in a way that allows you to have big dreams, dream big, and then know that you're worthy of those dreams. Whenever you find yourself thinking thoughts that belittle, that tell you that you're not enough, that you can't achieve, that you have that cycle in your mind of all the thoughts that say why you can't do whatever you want to do, why you can't have whatever you want to have, stop in your tracks. Stop in those moments, in those deep trains of thought that take us like tunneling towards misery, and choose a different thought in that moment. Choose differently. Go back to your dreams, go back to the thoughts that you know that you are enough, or just repeat them until you actually start to believe them. Because sometimes some of us, including myself, set ourselves in relationships that continue to beat us down. And the only way that I kept myself strong enough during those times was to believe that those were untrue. Somewhere in me, some small place within me knew that those were untruths. And so I kept trying to listen to those. I kept going back to those. And that's what I'm encouraging from you, is even if you're being challenged, even if you find ways that you're being challenged continuously, and to be positive, to see yourself as the brightness that you are, is in those moments when your thoughts take over, is come back to those stories. Whether you keep them written down, that you can just open up a book in your phone, beside your bed, at work, beside your computer. Just find places where you write down all the ways that you are big, that you have dreams, and that you're worthy of those thoughts and those dreams. And go back to them over and over again. And this doesn't just happen in a day. This happens over days, over weeks, over years, over decades. So choose who you want to be, and then continue to move towards those with your thoughts. Because in order to become who you want to be, your thoughts are the ones that are going to get you there. So I hope this served you in some way, because I know that you have a brightness in you that is worthy of being seen. And if you want to work with me in the future, if you want to connect with me in the future, you can reach me via Facebook, via Instagram, on my website at noellebovon.com, at my studio, my yoga studio at balooyoga.com. I hope you have a beautiful day, a vibrant day, and I look forward to us connecting again in the future.